For most of us, he's this monumental figure, right? Almost more myth than man. But what if we could peel back the layers, look past that marble statue, and really see the complex, incredible person who actually changed the world? Well, that's exactly what we're going to do. I mean, think about these words. These are some of the last he ever spoke in public. Wow. They just perfectly capture that iconic, almost prophetic image we all have of him, don't they? It's the voice of someone who seems, well, larger than life. And that really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? To get past the myth, we need a new lens, a way to understand all the different forces, the different energies that drove this one extraordinary person. So here's our plan. We're going to explore his life through 4 classic archetypes: the warrior, the magician, the lover, and finally, the king. Think of it as our roadmap for really getting to the core of his genius. Okay, so let's set the stage. When we talk about archetypes, we're not talking about simple personality types. No, these are more like universal patterns of energy that live inside all of us. And by looking at which of these energies Dr. King really tapped into, we can start to see his complexity in a whole new light. So here are the 4 distinct roles we're going to be digging into. You've got the warrior, who's all about action and purpose. Then there's the magician, bringing the knowledge and the big ideas. The lover, well, that's all about empathy and connection. And finally, the king, who pulls it all together with a clear vision. So let's see how this actually played out in his life. Okay, first up, the warrior. This is the doer, right? The part of us that locks onto a goal and goes after it with just relentless discipline. And for Dr. King, this energy was the absolute bedrock of his activism. Now, listen to this key phrase: aggressive yet non-violent action. That's so important. King's inner warrior wasn't just about fighting back. It was about something much harder: mastering his own mind, his own reactions, and channeling all that energy with incredible self-control, even when staring down pure brutality. And man, you can see this energy everywhere. Dr. King's career wasn't just a few protests here and there. It was a relentless campaign. I mean, from the Montgomery bus boycott that lasted over a year to the incredibly tense marches in Birmingham and Selma, he was like a general on a moral battlefield, demanding freedom with discipline, strategic, nonviolent force. And just look at what he was up against. The opposition was anything but nonviolent. We're talking police dogs, high-pressure fire hoses, even bombings. This is what his warrior energy had to stand up to day in and day out. You see, his nonviolence wasn't passive, not at all. It was an active, courageous, and deeply disciplined weapon. And if you ever need a number to understand his commitment, here it is: 29. He was jailed 29 times for his activism. Just let that sink in for a second. 29 times. That is the sacrifice and the sheer endurance of a true warrior. The pure action, that pure warrior energy, wasn't the whole story. Dr. King's real power was also in his insight, his intellect. And that brings us to our second phase, the magician. This is the archetype of hidden knowledge, the one who sees things differently and uses that vision to literally transform the world. So, what does the magician do? Well, the magician sees connections and truths that other people miss. They can take these huge, complex ideas, justice, morality, freedom, and make them crystal clear for everyone. It's not just about arguing a point. It's about completely reframing reality itself, guiding people to a brand new way of seeing things. And honestly, is there any better example of this than the I Have a Dream speech? That wasn't just a political address. He was doing something deeper. It was like an act of magic. He reached into the soul of the country, pulled out this hidden, shared vision of what America could be, and he made it feel so real, so tangible, that the nation could never be the same again. And here's the magician as a master strategist. He wrote this from a jail cell. Think about that. He's locked up and he's diagnosing the fundamental dynamics of power with absolute surgical precision. This isn't just a powerful quote. It's a profound insight, a piece of hidden knowledge about how the world works that he just laid bare for everyone to see. So we have the warrior's action and the magician's insight. But those two things alone can be cold. They need a heart. And that brings us to the third face of Dr. King, the lover. This is the archetype of radical empathy, of a deep, emotional connection to, well, to everyone. The lover is the why behind everything else. It's that part of us that genuinely feels the pain of other people as if it were our own. It's the energy that tears down walls between us and them and insists, no, it knows that we are all connected. It's where that famous idea comes from, right? That an injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere.
And what's so fascinating is you can actually watch Dr. King's lover archetype grow and expand over time. His early work, understandably, was laser-focused on racial segregation. But as the years went on, his empathy just got wider and deeper. He started to see how it was all connected: racism, poverty, and war.
And let me tell you, this expansion of his empathy, it wasn't easy, and it definitely wasn't always popular. When he came out against the Vietnam War, he lost a lot of allies. His Poor People's Campaign, which aimed to unite poor people of all races, was seen as incredibly radical. This was his lover energy at its most powerful and most challenging, a compassion that simply refused to be contained.
Okay, so this brings us to the final and maybe the most important piece of the puzzle, the king. Now hold on, this isn't about wearing a crown or ruling over people. The king archetype is about ruling over yourself. It's the part that integrates all those other powerful energies we've been talking about. I love this analogy. Think of the king as the conductor of an orchestra. It takes a fiery passion of the lover, the focused action of the warrior, and the brilliant insight of the magician, and it harmonizes them. It directs all that power toward a single, creative, life-giving goal. And you see this so clearly in his leadership style. As the first president of the SCLC, Dr. King wasn't just a boss. He was an ordering force. He provided the central vision. He was like a center of gravity that pulled all these other incredibly powerful, strong-willed leaders together and aligned them toward one single, unified goal. So in the end, that was his true genius, wasn't it? The integration. His leadership wasn't just one thing. It was the warrior's disciplined action, guided by the magician's transcendent vision, and all of it fueled by the lover's radical, all-encompassing compassion for humanity. And that is the man behind the icon. Not some perfect, untouchable saint, but a real, complex, integrated human being who learned to master the powerful energies inside of himself and put them in service of something so much bigger. And to me, that's a much more human and, frankly, a much more inspiring story. Which leaves us with one last thought to chew on. If this framework is a kind of map to great, integrated leadership, what happens when we use it to look at the world today? What faces do we see in our leaders? And maybe the more important question is, which ones are missing?